This week on Bravo's Love Hotel.
Opened it, and the only word I saw in there, oh my God, something's going on. I'm not sure what it is. I didn't see this coming.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about Bravo's Love Hotel Season 1, Episode 4. Let's get right into it. Alright, so it's a new day, and some of the men are talking about the fact that Ashley last night just dropped a bit of a bomb, which was that she has had her eye out for Ralph for a while now. So Ralph was shook. He definitely got very excited. I mean, who wouldn't like it if somebody said they were into you, right? So, that's what people are talking about. Luanne comes down. She wants to figure out what happened between Shannon and Earl also, because that was a big drama that happened the night before. So she asks Earl, what did you say? And Earl says, well, the thing is that there were like moments where she kind of just like turns to look at me, and he imitated what he meant by that. And it's kind of just like a sort of like an aggressive, like out of nowhere, rapid, like turn, like where she's just like looking at him with like kind of like with disgust or something, like, like for example that the night before she was like, you don't eat vegetables. Like, it's just so out of nowhere. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't like Luanne interjecting. I mean, I get it, maybe she's a girl's girl, they think that's what they're supposed to do, but Luanne, you don't really know what happened, and out of everyone, you really should not be the person telling somebody what to do as a couple. But I'm Team Earl. Like, I love Shannon, but she can be a bit too much to handle sometimes. There's a conversation with Ashley and Jason. Remember, Jason was one of the new guys, and Ashley liked him. She was enjoying getting to know him, but he admitted something to her last night, which was that he used to be in a throuple. Like, it was 3 people in a relationship, and to her, it's not a great thing. I don't think it's a great thing for most people. But, Ashley herself was in a marriage with Michael where there were others that were in the bedroom, third people. And she claims that she doesn't like that type of lifestyle anymore. I don't know how true that is, because on Potomac she'd be kissing Josh and Jacqueline, but she's telling him that that's not really the lifestyle that she wants. And Jason says, like, yeah, I'm not heading to that direction anymore either. And I do understand why Ashley, even though it's a bit hypocritical in a way, I still do understand why she wouldn't want a partner like that. So then Earl goes to Shannon's room, and it's funny in a way because the dynamic between the two is like a married couple of decades. Like, y'all just met each other, so the fact that y'all are like, so upset is kind of crazy. So he gives her a hug and he says, I'm sorry. I know you were having a bad day yesterday, and I'm sorry if I made it worse. And Shannon says, I just don't know why you got so angry at me. And Earl says, honey, like, I'm used to handling conflict in private, and you smile at me all the time, which I love, but then sometimes you just turn and you're like, don't you remember that I just told you that? And it's like, it takes me off guard. And Shannon says, well, that's just the way, like, I'm teasing you when I do that. And I could see how she could, be teasing him. And he says that he just gets really triggered because he didn't have a really great childhood, and he doesn't generally like loud voices or like being talked down to. So he just doesn't like it. And of course, the night before, they were all in a table. Everybody was there. People like Gizelle chiming in definitely didn't help the situation. But he does apologize, and it seemed like they kind of made up, but Shannon still feels disappointed. But I believe that sometimes bumps in the roads can actually help you. It can help people bring them closer. So everybody then reconvenes in the lobby, all the women, all the men, and then here goes Gizelle. There's an elephant in the room, and it's called Earl. Earl, there was a moment last night between you and Shannon, and it didn't sit well with me. I actually thought that you needed to go. I don't ever want to see my friends crying. We don't even know y'all like that. And then Luanne jumps in, and she's like, yeah, that's where we draw the line. Okay, I'm proud of Earl for not saying much, like, just kind of staying quiet and like saying, I was wrong, because Earl is better than me. Because had I been Earl, I would have probably had to fight with Gizelle, because how dare you judge me and say I need to go when I didn't really do anything wrong? Is it his fault that Shannon is a hypersensitive, emotional person? No. And I'm not saying that Earl shouldn't maybe, if he wants to pursue a relationship with Shannon, he shouldn't try and work through that and around that if he truly likes Shannon. But for Gizelle to sit up there like, you need to go. Gizelle, stop it. You are not the judge nor the jury of who gets to leave. I know she's used to doing that, especially in Potomac, but that's not how it works in real life. Anyway, Joel talks about how sometimes, expectations and reality can be different, and the women will have to pick a date today. So Luanne chooses James, Ashey picks Wale. This is the second time she goes on a date with him, and then Gizelle picks Philip, and poor Ralph didn't get the two women that he was expecting, but Gizelle really likes Philip's cool swag, his attitude. So she wants to get to know him more, and then finally Shannon, she picks Adam. He's one of the new ones that came in last week. He's 54 and lives close to where Shannon also lives in real life. So they get going on those dates, and they were really adventurous. Gizelle and Phil, they got on this RV, and they had to drive through a bridge. It looked terrifying. Ashey and Wale, they got on this swing, and then after that they were let go on a zip line. It was super fast. It was very intense. Luanne and James, they went on an actual zip line. And then Shannon and Adam, they rode some camels. And riding the camels was actually the most calm and chill and relaxing activity out of all of them. So then these couples have time to just talk. So Shannon talks to Adam, and I'm sorry, I don't think Adam likes Shannon. She thinks that they have a lot in common and that they might be a thing. But I don't think Adam is into you, Shannon. Shannon tells him, last night I noticed that you put a napkin on your lap. Okay. Luanne is telling her man James what she wants in a man. She tells him that she wants someone who is kind and has a, quote, big pee-pee. And if that's not weird enough for her to say, he then tells her that someone told his dad that he had a big private part. What? He does tell her that he wants somebody who already has kids, and I did sense some chemistry between both of them. Gizelle and Phil talk about their children. His son is the same age as her twin daughters. He talks about how he raised his son, and he dedicated a lot of time doing that. And then Ashey and Wale are showing a lot of affection. They kiss, they touch. It was good. He then gives her another no, typical I'm choosing you type of thing, which is definitely earning him some points. So that was pretty much it. The women then meet up afterwards and talk about those dates. Luanne is very impressed with James because he gave her a piggyback ride, and they just had a good time. Ashey talks about giving some tongue to Wale. Shannon says that she thinks Adam is young, but they have a lot in common. Gizelle asks, at any time did you think of Earl? And Shannon says, I actually did, because there's a comfort to Earl. And to me, I was just thinking, that's a huge sign that you're not realizing. Gizelle liked her day too. She was impressed that Phil told her that he had a Rolls Royce. So it's a little later. Ralph wants to talk to Ashey. He wants to touch base. So he says, you're beautiful. I never thought there would be any possibilities between us. Ashey says, yeah, I meant what I said. So Ralph is like, well, I would like to see if maybe we could pursue this. And Ashley's like, well, last night you did tell Gizelle that you wanted to pursue her. And while I do like you, I need to know where your priority is at. Ashey says, I didn't know you were interested in me. So Ralph says, anyone with a pulse would be into you. So Ralph is definitely living his dream. And guys, the way he was looking at her, it looked like a predator who's about to snatch their prey. I could physically see him just trying to grab her. And he even says to her, he's like, I really want to kiss you. And she kind of just giggles, and then she leaves. But then she decides to return, and my, Ashey and Ralph kiss. They both enjoyed it. He's grabbing her. He even growls. I was like, oh, wait a minute. It was a long kiss, passionate makeout. I think for a moment they forgot where they were. Shannon is talking to Adam again, and she starts to trash Earl a little bit. She says, Earl is too emotional. Now, Shannon. You might probably be the last person on Earth who can talk about somebody else being emotional. Like, really? Let's not do that. So that was it for the night. When Ashley told Gizelle that she kissed Ralph, Gizelle actually laughed. She wants to know what it was like. Adam is gossiping around, telling everybody about the makeout session because, mind you, he was there, so he saw Ashley and Ralph. So Gizelle and Ashley talk again the next day, and Ashley was still enamored by Ralph. She says that he brought out the femininity out of her. She really enjoyed it. And Gizelle liked Ralph, but she admits that she isn't dying to kiss him or anything. So then Ralph comes into the room and he sits right in the middle. What he really wanted to ask was which one of y'all wants me so I can direct my time and energy. But obviously he doesn't say that. Ashley does feel a little bit, she can't help but not think of Wale because he definitely does like Ashley a lot. So then everybody reconvenes and Joelle says that tomorrow there will be an elimination. For the remaining of the day, though, everyone can chat, talk, just hang out, whatever. So Earl goes up to Shannon right away and he says, hey, do you want to go out and take a walk with me? And Shannon says to him, oh, actually, I'm going on a walk with him. Speaking of Adam. And that is one of the most hurtful things you ladies could do to us men. Show us directly to our face that, oh, no, I'd rather be with this man. I hated that. Ashley touches base with Wale. Obviously, he isn't happy about her kissing Ralph, but what can he do? I will say, I hate to use this word because it's usually used in a bad way by bad people, but Wale is definitely coming across as too much of a simp. I like him, and I get it, you like Ashley, but tone it, calm down a little bit. Jay is still after Gizelle. He's a great guy. Gizelle also chats with Phil again, and they're on the same accord that they wouldn't necessarily need to be married. So they hugged, and they were very close to kissing, but they didn't actually do it. Which I think they're not, because at the end of the day, I don't think Giselle's actually here to find anyone. By the way, Shannon's man, Adam, who she replaced Earl with, is over there cozying up to Luanne. Seems like he really likes her. But Shannon then takes Adam to her room, and Ashley and Ralph, they're kissing nonstop, time and time again, just like last night. And Shannon wants Adam to kiss her, but he wasn't doing it. And then she awkwardly kisses him on the cheek when he leaves. So then the next morning, James serenades Luanne, and he writes a song for her. We're hanging at the Love Hotel. I like that he did that. He's serenading her. What a nice gesture from him. I love that. So, even though it's still a new day, Ashley and Ralph can't keep their lips away from each other's lips. They kissing. And then, you guys, I love that James, who had just performed his song for Luanne, he went with all the guys and they kind of joined him and did a little choir thing with his song. So then, to end the episode, Shannon takes Earl up to her room. She says she wants to give him something. He thinks that it's something good, but when he opens it up, he begins to cry. And he says that he didn't see this coming. But we don't know exactly what is in the card. I hope my first thought was that she eliminated him, but I paid close attention to the preview of next week, and he's still in some scenes for next week's episode, so I'm not 100% sure if he's been eliminated or not. So I'm going to, because I don't want to go off on Shannon, and then turns out she didn't kick him out. So I want to wait till next week. But I will say this episode, it's probably my least favorite out of the 4 so far. It was a little crazy. It was a bit cringy, not gonna lie, with Ashley and Ralph. It was a little cringy and a little upsetting with Shannon. But other than that, you guys, let me know what your thoughts were about this episode. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all next time. Y'all have a great one. Bye.